I forgot to put my ears in. Make sure I'm hearing myself in this whole thing. Okay, here we go. It's Friday and I see Bob's there. Oh, I am not getting, oh, I got to fix something. Hang on. Because I am not getting my social stream. What everybody's saying is not happening on the other screen. Bear with me just a minute because I can't see what you're saying when I'm facing this way. And I got to go. Crap, I don't know where I got to go. I know that's on live chat. All right. I need to go into social stream. And I need to get this. That's what I need. I need this doc. Lynn, hey, how you doing? I'm just going to see if I could just read names as this is going by because I apologize. I didn't realize that this wasn't working. Docs. No, it's not reset doc. Oh, I have to go on. You know what I have to do? I got to switch this. Okay, bear with me. I got to change the screen. You guys are going to see nothing but black. Hang on. Actually, you might see this. Hold on. Camera here. Oh, I just broke something. Because now I got this whole thing up here. Back to Main Street. Okay. I don't know if that's going to fix it. So here's what I'm going to do. In the meantime, I'm just going to move my thingy over there and I'll just go from there. All right. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So at the end of last, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Foltz Bailey Model Railroad channel. My name is Rick Bailey. And tonight we're going to do a whole bunch of screw ups. Last week or 2 weeks ago, sorry, the last time I was on here, I was having some issues. I've been having some issues lately with my computer, and those issues consisted of just slowness and things are not working correctly. The applications were just taking too long to load, and it was really affecting my stream. It was affecting how I created my videos, and really it just affected almost everything that this computer did. It was just really slow, which is really strange because I just rebuilt this thing about 6 to 8 months ago. But what I realized was happening was the problem was not the computer itself. The problem was the 2 mechanical hard drives that were in the machine. And those 2 hard drives were just slowing down and causing all of this slowness of the applications. When I would go into the task manager to find out what was running, I could look at the performance and just see that the hard drives were constantly being accessed at 100% capacity. And I decided it was time to get rid of the old hard drives, and I had to move forward and move to what is called a solid state drive. It is basically a chip rather than a mechanical spinning hard drive. So I did that. And here's a tip for anybody who's doing stuff in OBS. Get yourself an external SSD drive that can be hooked up to your computer via USB, and load OBS onto that, and then create yourself a little shortcut on your desktop. And here's why. When I rebuilt this machine, the only thing I needed to do was pull back that shortcut, and OBS was up and running. I hadn't changed a thing, didn't have to change it looks like right now the only thing I screwed up was my one chat over here on the one side. Other than that, everything else was up and running. All of my scenes were there, all of my sources were there, all because OBS was already configured and running on the external hard drive. So if that's something that you're looking to do and you want to back up your stuff and make sure that if your hard drive ever has or your computer ever has a hard drive malfunction, that all your stuff will be backed up, do that. If you have any questions, give me a buzz, hit me up on email, whichever way, and I will walk you through it and help you out as best as possible. So that all being said, my issue was the hard drive. So now the hard drive is fixed. Everything else seems to be working fine. Chat is going the way it should, with the exception of that one dock in OBS that I will fix later. But this is my first live stream since I've had the computer fixed. So all that's going on. So what are we going to do tonight? Tonight, somebody just said you guys are hilarious. I'm not sure what is exactly hilarious. So wait a minute. If the chat works through there and the chat shows up on screen, then the problem is in the dock. Hang on. I think I just figured this out. I might have figured this out. Scene pro, is it in profile view? Now I got to figure out where my docks are. It's not in scenes. I'll bet you it's in profile and I can't get to that. Lock docs. Oh, custom browser docs. Here it is. Hold on. I know what this is. I know what this is. So social stream has to change to, oops, Z, and then change this to that. Hit apply. Close that. And then I bet that will work as soon as I can figure out somebody. Okay. That's funny. What's funny? Who's saying something funny? Once in a while, my 8-track tapes break. Yes. Okay, chat's working now. Yes. Thank you. I will pull this over here and get this set back where it should be. Come on, clicky, clicky. Over there. Yes. See, I knew I would figure it out as soon as I figured it out. This is starting out like a Humanity Junction stream. You need an 8-hour unboxing. Nothing to unbox, unfortunately. No, but chat is now working, so I can see myself and I can see chat. Everything is good. Gave up on the 4th track. Light my fire. Only tape. Mike. Hey, Rick. Hey, Deep Mike. How are you? I haven't even gotten started yet, Mike. So I've been having a little bit of technical difficulty. So welcome in. Don't save that. Get rid of that. We don't need that. That could stay in the background. That's fine. Okay, so here's what we're going to do tonight. I made a little progress on the building that we've been working on. I actually had to stop myself. I wanted to keep going and keep going and going. But there were some things that I wanted to show you, and I couldn't keep going in order to show you these things. So I did go back to repaint, and I'm going to show you those. And for some reason, oh, there they are. I did go back to repaint. So we've got a new set of paint on the walls, and I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm exactly happy with it, but I'm happier than what I was before. So there's that. There are some quirks with the kit, that I had to work through, and I'm going to show you those along with some, things that I found, that again, without the instructions, I wouldn't have known without looking at some of these diagrams and pictures. Thankfully, well, not thankfully, but all of these, I had to fix my green screen. Hang on. All of the pictures that we've been working with, all these diagrams and such, we're pretty much done with now, almost, because the building's got its bracing and it's starting to come together. After we glue some things tonight, I don't think we're going to have any issues with that. Bear with me. My kids were here last weekend and we were playing with our Nerf guns and they knocked down my green screen. And I had to put it all back up last night, or just before the show, and it's not the way it used to be. So I had to fix that too. What happened to your hair? Well, my hair is there. It's just big. I haven't cut it in a while, and I was just laying on the couch a little while ago watching TV before the stream, and I was going to put a hat on, but I knew it was going to get hot in here because it is hot around here. I think it's like, I think, hang on. Hey, Ziggy, what's the temperature outside? Ziggy says it's 76 degrees outside with 56% humidity. So I know I'm going to be sweating and I'm going to be doing this a lot throughout the show, but it is what it is. I like my little Superman curl here. This is kind of cool. Can't get that to go back. So, oh, there it is. It'll come back. I bet you it will. So yeah, it's a little hot over here on the East Coast. And I am not one to run the air conditioner because unless it gets really sticky, muggy, I deal with it. I don't mind the heat so much. I don't mind the cold as much, to be honest with you, but I do mind the sun. So that is that. All right. So I've done the intro. We've gone through all of it. Well, no, I didn't. I've told you what I'm going to do. We went through all the technical issues. Let's do the favorite part of the show, which everybody loves. It's really nice here in South Philly. Oh, Bill Hawk, you're in South Philly. Awesome. I'm right down by the airport. I'm not too far from the airport. I'm I'm in Clifton Heights, right in Delaware County. We're not far, brother. We should hook up one day and get together. Okay, before we do that, before me and Bill start setting up play dates, let's get the girl of the hour up here. Everybody stay tuned. Here comes Rita. And I just realized I'm hoping that you guys heard that because I heard nothing. Did you hear Rita or Rita's music? If not, I got to go back and fix Rita. But I'm not going to do that now. But definitely let me know if you heard Rita's music, because if not, we were both deaf at the moment. Yes, Joe Rader says yes. Yep. I get a bunch of yups. Heard the music. Okay. I heard nothing, even though I've got my headset in. So I don't know if that's it's not a Bluetooth issue. Well, it could be a plug-in. I don't know. I'll fix that later. Rita's music played. Thank you, Ray. All right. So now that we've got Rita out of the way, let's jump over to the participants list and let's see who's here. Nobody. Look at that list. Nobody's here. All right. So we'll give that thing just a minute to catch up. There we go. There's a list. Always takes YouTube a minute to grab. So guys, if you don't see your name over there on the list, it's either because you haven't said anything in a while and YouTube hasn't took your name off the list. So definitely say hi. Let everybody know you're here. Even if you're just watching, say hello so everybody can say hello to you. And most important, I can say hello to you so I know you're here. Let's run through this list real quick. At the very top, we got Oz America. That is Artie from way down under. Bill Hawk 65 is here. Hello, Bill. Chuck Schreiber is in the house. Welcome, Chuck. Thank you for coming by. Deep Run Railroad Mike. Hello, Mike. Welcome. Of course, I'm here. That's that FBMRR guy. FVRC Scott. Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Grandpa Rails. That's JD. JD's in the house. Joe Rader from the Black Rock Central is here. Thank you for coming, Joe. Of course, there's that Curly Express guy. That's Dwight. Everybody knows Dwight. Make sure you guys check out Dwight's live streams over the weekend. He does some really cool stuff, and he's got a brand new camera that he's now using to view his layout. So definitely check out Dwight's channel. We've got Lynn McCurdy is in the house. Welcome, Lynn. Bob is here from PK&W Model Works. Ray Boebel is here from the Boeville in Newtown. Ron Moen is in the house. Welcome, Ron. And 3Dub is here. That's Wig Wag Workshop, bringing up the bottom of the list as always. Guys, I also want to give a shout out to, you see those guys over there that are in blue and they've got that little shield next to them? Well, those guys are my moderators and they're here to keep me on track, which almost usually never happens. But more importantly, they are here to keep you guys in line. So if anything goes wrong, those are the guys that are going to kick your butts. So thank you guys for all your help. I appreciate it, moderators. Yes, Wigwag says Willow Creek is not here, so I'm last. That's right. You're usually the one bringing up the rear unless Willow Creek is here. So yeah, good move being here. All right, let's do the STS schedule, and this is for July, and this Sunday is going to be the last show for July. That's going to be over there on Ray Boebel's channel. So guys, make sure you check out Ray Boebel and his Sidetrack Sunday this weekend. I am going to post up all of the Sidetrack Sunday cruise links over there in chat. So check them out and definitely subscribe to them. Show them your love. Watch a couple of videos. I'm sure you're going to learn a couple things. I don't know what that was, but it sounded like somebody's tire just blew out. Yeah, so check out the guys from Sidetrack Sunday. The next time that I'm up, I will have the schedule for August ready for you guys. But as you guys know, the first week of August is always going to be John J2 from the Schuykill River Valley. So definitely check him out. I'm just going to take a real quick peek over at the list here to see if I missed anybody. Dan just popped in. That's Dan's Model Railroad Journey. Good to see you. Mike at Pudham Junction. That's a new name. Welcome in. Good to have you, Mike. We got a lot of mics. Possum Bayou snuck in the house. Good to see you, buddy. And looks like that's it. All right, let's jump over here to Sidecam. Let's see what we can get. John Train, BFGR just jumped in. Welcome. Let me get this out of the way. Oh no, I left the glue open last night. All right, cross your fingers that still works. Might have to poke a hole through it somehow and get that working. All right, that needs to go away. I don't even know if that's from this kit. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Something over here. Oh, that's hot. That's my drill. Hide the drill. All right, there we go. So, hey there, Mike. Everybody's saying hi now. Okay, that can stay up there. Good, if I case I need it. All right, so here's what we got to. I want to go over the color first. I don't know if this is going to appear on camera correctly. It may not. We could go down to the workbench in a minute. So I ran into some weird issues that we have to work out. Those issues are these stairs that we were working on last week. Let me turn it this way so you guys remember we were gluing those frames on. So we got the front and the back. That's actually the back at the top of the stairs, and then that's the front. And the weird part of this was the stairway floor. Now you can read it. Stairway floor. I had no idea where this was supposed to go or what it was supposed to do. And then after looking at the pictures over and over, I finally figured it out. So at first I thought, this being the doorway going into the thing, I thought it was supposed to sit flat to give it like a landing, but that's not the case. If you can see from the side profile here, it goes up like that. And I finally figured out why. Let's jump over to my pictures here, and I will explain it to you. So if you notice over here, this is where the bottom of that woodworking piece goes, and you can't see it really well in the picture, but that's open. So there's nothing under that. So that piece on the bottom, which I now have to paint black, is going to is that bottom piece, because what happens is so this would be the side wall, right? So this sits, I got to turn this around, switch my fingers here. So this would sit like that, right? So that's the side wall and how it would sit. Well, if I go like this and I show you that, now imagine there's nothing under there, right? Not that you're going to be able to see it, because I doubt anybody's going to tuck and look under there, but that's what that stairway floor is for. Now, I know what you're thinking. Rick, what if somebody did look under there? Now you're going to see it says stairway floor. Well, I figured since nobody can really see under there, it would be better if I had stairway floor under there rather than looking through the door and seeing stairway floor there. There's probably going to be a door there, so it's not like it's going to be an open thing, but even still, the door is going to have glass, a glass window on it, and even painted black, you might be able to even see that. Rick, you don't want to know what I'm thinking. Lynn, I don't know what you're thinking, and I'm a little hesitant to ask, but since you piqued my curiosity, let's all know what you're thinking. Come on, bring it on. Bring it on. Somebody came in. I saw the thing pop up just a minute ago. Stormy's here. Good to see you. And then he's just saying hi to everybody. All right. I knew I saw somebody pop up just before I went. That's Dave. Dave, good to see you. Just before I went over to the shared screen over there, I saw somebody pop in. So anyway, back to this. I thought it would be better to have that under there. I can always paint it black. I don't think anybody's going to Stairway to Heaven. Yeah, nice. Or if you're upstairs, it could be the Stairway to Hell. It depends on which way you're going, I guess. But I thought it would be easier to have it under there, paint it black. Nobody's really going to see it rather than look it through the other way. So that's one thing. Now, I ran into a problem with, was it on here? No, I think I was okay on here. I decided to, since this was black, I decided to keep the bluish grayish tint on there. To the camera, it looks really gray. And that could be just because of the green screen. But when you look at it, maybe when we change the camera, you'll notice it's more blue than it is gray. And I'm really actually disappointed in that. I thought it was going to be the other way around. And thank you, JD. Let's go down to the workbench and I'll show you all the other pieces. Come on, bring it in. There we go. All right. I had to wait for the phone to pick up. Okay. So here's those pieces. See how they're more blue? Now it's more blue than gray. So that's just one thing that I'm dealing with. And it came up on the other pieces. It doesn't really matter much on the dark colors. So what I did is the parts that were dark and the main building, I kept with this bluish grayish color. But when it came to the side buildings, and I'm not sure you could really notice them, but when it came to the side buildings, I just kept the natural wood. So there's that piece, and then there's this side piece. And those are the ones that you'll see out on the side. And these pieces all go with those. So they get connected, those three, and then these three get connected. And then I decided to keep, I'm losing my train of thought. Oh, I knew there was something weird. All right, so there's a roof that has to go on top of the stairs. Well, that's this piece. And it's just a piece of cardboard. Now, there are two bends in it. There's this bend up here, which they did make a small cut for. And there is a bend at the bottom right there. Here's the problem. The bends go in two different directions. This one goes that way, and this one goes that way. But the problem is they put the cut on the same side. So, no modeling yet. Not yet. We're still doing explanations here, Bob. All right, so they put the cut on this side. So on this side, it worked because all you had to do was bend it, and it went. But this side, you have to accommodate for when you bend it up, that groove in there needs to be wide enough. Otherwise, the two pieces are just folding in on each other. So all I did is I took my X-Acto knife and I just went on that edge and I kind of scraped some of that edge out to make that line a little more open. And then I was able to bend that up, and now that can get glued on top of here, just like that. And that's how you get the roof to the stairway. And then that gets some tar roof, I believe. Let's go over to the share screen. And yeah, you can see it in this picture here. That'll get the tar roof that's there over top of the power and light picture. You can see that black tar paper roof. So we'll get that effect going on there at some point. Who knows? Maybe next week. Sometimes I have deep thoughts coming from shallow mind of mine. Hey, it happens. It happens. It hurts when I think. It does to me too. And even on live, because when I'm on live and I can't think of my words that I'm supposed to say, it kills me. Back after dinner. Well, you tell us what's for dinner before you leave. Wait, are you already back from dinner, or are you saying you'll be back after dinner? That's confusing. Let us know. Oh, Aussie says enjoy, JD. So I guess JD's leaving. All right. Escalator of life. Yeah, my escalator doesn't go all the way up. Got to have somebody look at that. I'll be in Chattanooga next week for the NMRA. Well, that's just awesome. All right. So here are, let's go to the main parts of the building, because then we got to talk about doors. All right. So where's the front? The front's got the two cord. Okay. This is the front. So here's what I did. I didn't like the orange color that was on the front. What's going on in here? I have no idea. Johnny Railer, thank you for stopping in, buddy. It's very good to see you. We're doing a little bit of modeling, a little bit of explanation of this project that I'm working on, but it's always good to see you, my man. So this is the front of the build. This is the front of the building. And what I did is I went back to the spray booth and I went over it again with the same orange paint, and I just made it darker so you didn't see all the press the reset button. All right, for Johnny Railer. All right, we're going to start at the beginning. Everybody back up. I'll just keep going and you'll catch up at some point. I'm a couple fries short of Happy Meal. Nice. As long as there's a prize in the box, no worries. So I went back and I just painted this orange and got a better coat on there to cover up some of the wood grain. And then, of course, when I did that, I realized this is way too dark. Or not dark. It was way too bright of an orange color. And it kind of it was starting to go in the direction of a pumpkin. And I didn't want that. So what I did was I went to, thank God I'm on a diet. Oh, God. What I did was I went back to my paint palette and I put some gray paint, just the standard gray color, no additives this time, just the natural gray in the palette tray. And I used a sponge that I don't see on my desk at the moment, but it was just a small piece of a sponge. And I dipped it into the gray. And I just sparingly went around and I did some spots in some places and I did little dry brushing in others, but I coated it on there to try and give it like an older look of some sort. There we go. There's a good screenshot of it. So it kind of just hit the raised edges and you can see between the dark stain and the gray paint, it really puts the orange into the background, so it looks like it's not so much a faded orange, but like the front of it is more weathered than the back of it. I then went and I did the same thing, but I did with green, whereas before I went and I sprayed it in the, oh, my camera's screwing up. I went and I sprayed the building in green to give it that greenish, like mossy look to it. And it really wasn't working. So on the other, before I repainted it. So I just did the same thing. I got the sponge, flipped it over to the side that I didn't use. And I sponged on some of the green color. And as you could tell, there's some that some of the buildings have a different color to them. The shade is pretty much the same. Got some dirt and dust on that one. But each one's got its own texture. Each one's got its own palette. They're all different. So my camera is going fine, but the phone is screwing up. Same thing here. And you can see this is the one board that has you can see the wood grain in it. And now I think the way that it's painted now, the wood grain, not that it necessarily fits, but it's almost hidden, but in such a way that I think it kind of looks, I think it gives it a weathered look, like something is wrong with the wood, rather than, hey, that's wood grain. Just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe, is this a firehouse? No, this is actually a building. This is a building by, what is the company? Railroadkits.com. It is the Franklin Electric Power and Light Company. So it looks like it's a barn kind of some sort that was turned into somebody's like home building. Electrical repair shop is what it is. Yes, good one. Have you seen the most recent videos of mine? I don't know that I have. I'm not sure if you were talking to me, but I'll answer the question anyway. It looks different color. Yes, definitely a different color from what I started with. So here's the last piece. This one doesn't have much of that grayish color on it. It's more kind of almost singular. I think this may have been the first piece that I did. And that's why it's really like toned down a lot. I went kind of crazy on the ones after that, but I can't say that I'm 100% happy with it, but I think it's a lot better than what it was. So I'm going to stick with it and leave it at that. you could see I did put the trim on these on the two sides of the front, and this would be the back of the building. And you could see how those are a lot more blue than anything else. I did make a mistake on this one. And you're probably not going to be able to see it. But right there, is it this one? See, I can't even tell where it is now. Yeah, I think it's here. So there's a cut mark right there in the trim. And what happened was I ran out of trim, and I had only 2 pieces left, and I had to make a splice in it. And here's a tipster from the Rickster. I don't know if I could show this. I could try. When you've got 2 pieces of wood, like for example, this trim, let me zoom in here a little bit. So when you've got 2 pieces of trim, for example, like this, and you need to splice them together, don't make a solid cut. Put the 2 pieces together as best as you can and make a cut. If I can get my fat finger out of the way, make a cut on an angle like this. And what that's going to do is it's going to match up each angle so that they're the same on both sides. And then this way, when you get both of those pieces together like that, when you turn that, the cut's going to look, zoom back out. The cut will look like, on an angle like that. But then if you turn that so it's that side of the building, you're only going to see the one flat piece rather than see the angle. So you got 2 tips there. So if you ever have to make a splice, do it like that. That's my recommendation, and it's going to look a lot better. So like I said, it took me a minute to find out where exactly that splice was, because you really can't see it when you look at it. That's the technique I did. So I'll have to make a short out of that one so we can share it. I like the trim. I'm still torn by it. I think I would have rather had more of a gray, but it's kind of looking more like in person, like a bluish purple. But I mean, it is what it is, and I didn't feel like going back and painting it. So we'll know when we get the pieces together how that's going to look. I don't know. Kind of works, I guess. It's more pronounced than what I thought it was. I didn't want it to stick out that much and be a point of a viewpoint. I wanted people to look at the building. I think it would have probably have just been better black, but I don't know, something different. We'll see how it goes. It's an awesome looking firehouse. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. When I get the engines for it, I'll let you know. So at this point, I've got the trim on, and I've got the trim for both sides, so we can start gluing the structure together. But before we do that, there's one other thing I wanted to talk about, and that is these double doors. These things came with, if you look on, let's go back to the picture first over here, and I got to switch to the front view so you can see this. If you notice around the doors here, there is trim, and what I couldn't figure out at first was the doors. Back to the cam here. The doors themselves fit almost exactly inside the door jamb. Now, on other kits that I've had, there's always been like extra room for you to put the trim in. And I couldn't figure out why there's trim in the picture, but there's no room for trim on the model. And then as I was going through and I looked at this piece, this is the, I don't know what you call this, the lattice part of the door that makes it kind of look, fancy dancy like that. And I was like, wait a minute, why isn't that as big as the door? And then it clicked in my head. The doors in the picture are recessed. Take a look. They're pushed back into the door frame. So that tells me that when you glue this on, this is supposed to sit behind like that in the door, and that's why the trim goes in here, and literally the door gets glued onto the back of the trim, and that's how it stays. So you would look at it like that, and there would actually be like a small, I don't think there's going to be a gap, but it would pretty much just glue like onto the back of the building. So it looked like it was recessed rather than proud to the front of the building. So, you need working opening doors. Yeah, I mean, that could come in the future, but it's not happening here. Not right now. It's not. Once I get the new layout built and everything, hopefully I'll be able to do some improvements on these as time goes on. I plan on not making any of my buildings permanent to the layout, so I'll be able to pick them up, move them, clean them, put them back in place, make any additions or anything fixing that I might need. Orange is always a good choice. I think so too. And I'm really I can't wait to get this together because the contrast of the orange and the natural wood and the black of the staircase, I think is really going to look nice. I'm looking at the building, the way they have the pictures, even though the building itself on their pictures is all gray, there's a definite contrast between the, see, here I go trying to find my words now. The contrast between this roofing material kind of stuff and then the wood flappy stuff. God, why can't I think of my words? Over here, I think is a really nice contrast. It makes the building stand out. I think mine's going to stand out even more because of the 3 different colors. So I was contemplating at this point whether I should put the building together and then do the doors and windows and put them on, or if I should stop at this point and put all the windows and doors together and then do the final glue up. As far as the doors and windows, the regular doors and windows, not counting the garage doors, these are all plastic. What I don't know if they actually are Tichy, but they look like they could be Tichy doors and windows. So that's what's going to go in all of these little holes. And to be honest with you, I was contemplating on doing these white, but I don't think white would work. I think it's going to look better if these were just black, and this way it doesn't take away too much from the color of the building. I don't want people to look at the windows being white or even the color of the trim. I would rather them look at the color of the building and leave your eyes at that rather than, this thing, it already has 3 colors on it. I didn't want to go and add something else and make this thing look really, really weird. Have another drink. Words will follow. Yeah, they probably will. That's a sweet kit. Thank you, dude. Just water, I promise. I'm pretty sure it's an electric repair shop. Yeah, I think Johnny Raylor's just pulling my strings here. Need a Ghostbusters car. That would be amazing to have a Ghostbusters car. Eventually, I would like to get some of those iconic cars on the layout. Definitely a Ghostbusters car. Back to the Future DeLorean. I would love to find something that's similar to the clock tower. Was that like a courthouse that was in Back to the Future, and get that on the layout? I think that would be really, really cool. I don't know that I would have enough room to do the Twin Pines Mall, but it would be really neat to somehow try and recreate the the scene where Doc Brown and Marty are standing there at the Twin Pines Mall and have flames behind the DeLorean. I think that would be really neat, but that's going to take some really technical experience to do. The original Batmobile. Now, I'm not gonna listen. I'm a superhero fan, and I'm not gonna knock it. I do like the original, but I am a big Michael Keaton fan, and I would rather see Michael Keaton's Batmobile rather than the original. Just my preference. The clock tower would be neat. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to start looking for something. Kid Knight Rider, yeah, that's another one. I had actually, as a matter of fact, I could tell you this. I had way back, I think maybe 15 years ago, when I first moved into my other house, I had a kit, a regular, 124th scale, whatever it is, the regular model kits of the Knight Rider kit car, and I started to put it together. And honestly, to tell you the truth, that was my first kit. I had never built anything else other than Legos up until that point. And the problem was I was working with Tester's glue. I knew nothing about the solvents that we use today. And I was really getting really impatient with the glue not drying. And I put the kit away. I think all I had really gotten done was the engine, and the little pieces and little doodads and little bobs to the engine were all falling off because I was being really impatient. And I put the kit away. It went in a box. It sat there for years. And I think eventually I just threw it out and I got rid of it because I didn't know of the solvents that we have today. And that would have made everything go smoother, having those. So I don't have that kit, but side note, back in the early 2000s, I would say 2003, 2002, 2003, I bought myself a 1982 black Pontiac Firebird, just because I was in love with Knight Rider. And I went on eBay and I found the light bar that goes in the front. And I modified the front of the car. I had to cut out part of the grill and mount the lights on there. And the controls came into the front of the car. And I would normally keep them off unless I was parked somewhere. But I had them hooked up to the battery. And any time that I would stop at a light and someone would wave or someone would, acknowledge the car, I would turn the lights out and it would just drive them crazy. The Tester's glue that I had as a kid worked great and always a good time. I'll tell you this much. The only thing that I really liked about the Tester's glue was the smell. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But yes, I had the Knight Rider car. I actually was going to I found a guy in Florida that has the original fiberglass shells that they used to make the dashboard of the Knight Rider car. So he got the shells that were from the actual show, and at people's request, you could send your car down to Florida and pay him to create these dashboards and put in the original dashboards, and then all of the lights and doodads and flashing buttons and everything. And back in the day, in the early 2000s, that would have costed me somewhere around $8,000 to do. And being in my early 20s, I wasn't coming across $8,000, so that wasn't feasible. My son put that on his car, and the cops stopped him and had him remove it. So mine had an on and off switch, so I could turn it off and on. There was no way to remove it on the fly. But I actually so I'm not sure, Dwight, where your son was, where he got stopped. But here in Philly, if it's not obnoxious and you're not trying to impersonate a police car or a police officer. The cops in Philly actually loved it. They stopped me and wanted to take pictures of the car. It happened all of the time. I used to work the night shift at a hotel at that time, and it was right down the street from a bunch of nightclubs. And I would have it parked outside the hotel with the lights on, and people would stop by all the time and ask for pictures of the car, cops included. So it was really pretty cool. I think I am going to attempt. So here's the problem. I might not do this now because I'm running short on time because I've been talking too much. But this is the roof that has to go on to the top of the building. Now, what I think I want to do is I think I want to glue these in first, or at least one at a time. And I think this is the way that I want to do it. That's that side, because I don't want to put all these together and then find that I can't slot that in. So I think we're going to try and attempt a little bit of glue if I can get the glue out of my bottle. I got to look at why my camera is screwing up here. Now yeah, we're going to have to poke that. There is a, oh, I lost my train of thought. There is a roof. Sorry, the top thing here that we're putting on is not the roof. It is the ceiling that all of this connects to. There is a roof that goes on top of this, and that's going to be a whole bunch of fun to put on. So wait for that. But I think we're going to try this. And I don't know if this goes brown side up, brown side down, but I just realized that I'm going to have to get in here and paint this too. And I'm going to put this down here. I'm not sure. I mean, it looks to me like that's going in. Yeah, that's in. That's in. So let me put this down. It's not sitting quite like I thought it would. I'm going to grab my 1, 2, 3 block here. I don't think that that's going to glue right. But let's give it a minute and see how it sets up. I think I need it'll go together. I have to make sure I got the right side. This side will be over here. All right, let's do this. I don't want to get any glue in that hole because that's where the second floor, the stairs go. So I'm just going to put a little bit on this side, and I still can't get my glue out. Come on. And I'm just going to go on the roof ceiling. And I think if we put this together this way. Oh no, there it is. Okay, I clicked in. And then I got some clippy thingies. Hold on. It's all the way on the other side of the desk. All right. I am just going to throw a clippy thingy right here. And see if that holds. I'm squeezing together this corner down the bottom just by hand. Sup dilly dilly, nice. Roof's on fire. Not yet, but according to Johnny Railer, we got a good fire company here, so we'll see how that goes. The windows look wavy on the website. Why is that? The windows look wavy on the website. Are you talking about the glass? Is that your question, Bob? Parking lot in foreground, mall as backdrop. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. 60th anniversary of Star Trek. So I am a big fan of Star Trek Generations. I know I'm going to get some slack for this, but I was never a big fan of Kirk. And I think I said this on a live stream before. I'll catch the rest of the show. Oh, yeah. No worries. We're going to drop off here in a few minutes anyway, because guys, remember, we got to go over and raid Dan's channel because he's coming up next. I'm going to pop a link up here for Dan's channel. Make sure you guys go over there as soon as we kick off from here, which won't be long. Let's see if we can twist this. I'm trying to put downward pressure as well as pressure. Yeah, see, this side's popping up. That tells me, oh, the wave, I see it. Okay, what I'm going to have to do, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do another wall just yet because I think I'm going to have to glue on the inside around here and hold it together somehow because what I could do is the window opening over here, I could put one of the clamps here. See what's happening? The whole thing is moving. And I think that's because it's a little warped. It's not that it's uneven. This part here on this side where my other hand is warped, and I'm trying to squeeze it into place. But it seems like when I squeeze it here, it pops up here. And then when I try and push it down, everything else moves. So I'm going to stop there, giving the time of night it is, and give Dan a chance to do his show. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll get the 4 walls together, and then I'll get those trim pieces on. I'm also going to get the windows and doors all painted up and get that together. Warped. Now the only thing on camera that's warped. Yeah, I'm warped also. And Star Trek's warped as well. Was born 4 years later. Rub it in, Ray. So I'll get the building together. I'll get the windows painted at least. Like I said, I'm going to do those black. And I'll see if I can get the warps taken out and or at least hopefully under control when all 4 walls come together. And then I will also try and get the side buildings at least glued up. And then maybe the next time we meet, we'll get those put together and then try and tackle the different roof parts and then go from there. There were no special doodads with this one. There's no, oh wait, yes there is. Sorry, yes there is. There's a whole bag full. Why did I not say that? Yeah, there's a whole bunch of metal parts. So we got those to paint up too. So lots to do. I'm going to end it there. I want to thank everybody for stopping in and hanging with me while we get done this build. I know we didn't do much today, but it was pretty much an update on the build and working through all of the problems that I had with the kit and getting familiar with it. So I'm hoping that this will eventually help someone if they ever purchase this kit. Still highly recommend the kit. I love the building. I love the way it came together. I love the design, so I'm not knocking it at all. Just really wish there were some sort of instructions to go through. So that being said, let me jump over to the outro here. Guys, there is a link over there for some of my videos. There's a link down there that will take you to a playlist. And then right below me is the link to like and subscribe. Make sure you guys do that. Thank you again, and I'll see you in